problem.
Rest in peace. All right, let's take a look at our bans here to see where we'll be playing. We got 2 maps that are, of course, banned out. Start off with 7 maps on the board. Coastline in Oregon will get removed. Just leaves us with the 5 on the board. And if we go for those bans and put them up on the screen, they go like this. Bank, Villa, Border, and Consulate, which leaves us with Clubhouse.
All right, let's see Clubhouse again. Well, we'll see. I imagine these two are going to play it pretty differently than we saw earlier, which is the best part of it. We will have Mouse starting on attack, Obey on defense.
The question that I want to ask you is that Mouse are a lot. They like to roam a lot on the defense. So, how will this work out against Obey that like to run around and use their drones to get kills off of them as soon as possible? This is very much technically 2 different playstyles, but once you put them against one another on attack and defense, especially on the map that now starts to favor roaming.
Yeah.
This is really butting heads.
It'll be down to a lot of those game sense kind of moments and good communication between the team, because it's those moments where you like the good callouts that lead to the right flanks, or that lead to moments where a roamer can just manage to pull off a quick nutty kill and then get back to sight, things like that. It's those moments that, especially for Mouse, that we're going to be looking for in this map, because we were talking earlier about how the basement hasn't led to a lot more roaming.
Yep.
I feel like if anyone's going to be really pushing that envelope, it's going to be Mouse. But it should be interesting for Obey, because they had played Clubhouse before and they lost at 6-2 against SSG. So they do not have the best track record on this map. But I said the same thing about EG on Border, and they won that 6-4.
Yep.
So track record, is one indicator, and EG did struggle a bit at the beginning of the matchup. So we'll see. Obey obviously going to be looking to fix anything they did incorrectly previously. Mouse going to be looking to take advantage of that. But Mouse are ones that are just hard to predict sometimes.
Though, speaking of predictions, any specific operators that we'll see bans of? Now, before, let's head for our Russian roulette.
People are feeling Obey, I guess.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I still, again, like we were talking about earlier, I feel like this should be a little closer to each other. At least it's not the discrepancy we saw, how far apart EG and Noble were. But nonetheless, I don't know. I mean, I really, especially after Vandal's last performance, things like that, I've been really feeling Mouse lately in terms of their roam game being very phenomenal, and some of their attack game as well.
Which leads to the next point. Any specific bans that you see?
I would. If I was Obey, I would just be like, can I please ban Vigil against Vertical, for example? And some of these other ones, I know. Beastly has a pretty good pulse game as well. Trying to think of what would be specific for this map that you really want to take off of Mouse in terms of their own game. You could ban Kavera against Mouse, but I don't think we're going to see that without Cafe here. So I don't know. It is hard to say. This is a map that does lend itself to banning, obviously, some of the map-specific bans like Habana, which we saw earlier, and then a lot of Thermite.
So your standard, Habana ban. Habana more often than not is going to be banned on this. It makes Church a bit easier to play with if you're on the defense, even though it still doesn't work out effectively anyways.
Yeah.
We see Lion being a favorite. Honestly, I look at this, and Lion or Dokkaebi should be 2 bans to look at.
For Mouse especially, because, anything that can deny you that roam game, absolutely, I would ban Lion for sure. Maybe even Dokkaebi might be a stronger ban in some ways, because it's not that their roam game is necessarily about moving constantly, but it's about just showing up at unexpected places.
Yes.
And a phone call, your phone sitting there ringing in your pocket, is a bad way to surprise the other team. So, yeah, I would think that would be a good call for them, but you only get 1 attacker ban, so you got to make it count in what is your biggest weakness. And if, let's say they're like, well, we just really don't want to deal with Thermite or Habana or Glaz, then they got to use it on that, and it's going to depend. Now, Obey are going to be defense, so that means Obey will be banning attacker first, which is good, because then that gives Mouse the chance to respond rather than be put in the driver's seat in the sense of what we're talking about, the anti-roam game. So, we'll see.
See what happens on the defense. We've seen, Maestro bans, potential Mira bans. That aside, let's head into our map between Obey Alliance and their opponents of mousesports on Clubhouse.
Yeah, let's see. So we get into those bans. We saw Clubhouse earlier, so assuming you were watching that, you should be pretty familiar with this map. If you didn't already have a lot of familiarity with the new version of this map. But we will start with the banning from Obey. What will they be dropping first? Like I said, we saw the Habana ban earlier, which they're going to go the exact opposite of that with Thermite, which I think is in some ways, outside of the bottom bomb site, Thermite's a bit stronger than Hibana, and
Yeah, and
depending on how you're using it.
that's what I see as logic behind it. Hibana might make it a bit easier for defense in church, but banning the Thermite will make literally everywhere else much easier.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the Lion ban, there we go. Mouse doing exactly what we said, banning Lion because, well, they want to be able to roam. There goes Maestro.
Yeah, that's the Maestro auto play. Obey will have the chance to go for the final ban, looking like a Mira, right?
Yep, probably. No.
Oh, mute. Mira's gonna be played. Woohoo! Okay.
Well, that should be interesting. I mean, we did see a lot of mute play earlier, so
yeah, but it was ineffective.
That was going to be the counterpoint. It didn't really do anything. So, well, we'll see how it plays out. But they are going to start on cache, which is the more at this point traditional starting bomb site, despite it being in some ways actually more difficult than a lot of people think it will be, as they tend to lose it more often. And I think that might not be necessarily due to the there being something wrong with the bomb site so much as teams have practiced it very often. There we go, Vandal bringing Ying.
I like Jackal from Beastly, honestly.
Yeah,
I've said it before, I'll say it again. Jackal is a super underrated operator in terms of how much utility he brings to the table.
Oh.
Well, see Sky switching out to the Jaeger, so possible more.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I would have never seen Skies on the Echo myself, but still.
Yeah, he's been playing a lot more sight than you expect. Ying to the Zofia, interesting switch. Zofia, however, with Castle in play, has been very important in terms of some of these attacks. So I do think that was, in a way, the right call, but it does suck to not have those Candelas, because those could be quite fun to push into the sight with.
I know. We've seen a decent chunk of Ying bans as well.
Mostly
in the
Europe.
past. Yeah.
There's been a ton of those in Europe. We'll see, though. They are going to be setting up some of the standard defense here to begin with. I don't think we're going to see any kind of bulletproof cameras or anything like we saw from Cloud9, which we discussed earlier, were not largely effective.
No. And even the way that they set them up inside a CCTV when they were defending in the bedroom, yeah, don't worry.
The window there.
10 seconds to go.
What?
There's this window, interesting, set up there into the room from the cache room itself into the CCTV.
Now, usually you don't see it on that side. You see it on the right-hand side, because if you don't, if you leave it on the left, it means that you can get up on the desk and vault into the room and have a better angle to throw equipment into it, because more often than not, the attackers will come in from that window. Now, the interesting thing that Marcia was pointing out is that the wall into the server room is not reinforced.
Yeah, that's an odd choice, because we've seen that soft wall actually backfire on some teams as well once stuff gets opened.
And on the right side, so wait, the wall leading into cache room from construction is only half reinforced.
No, it's just reinforced on the other side.
Is it?
Yeah, you just got the
Can I
little
not
bolts
see?
there.
No, on the.
Oh, on that side, yeah, from the office?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting choice there. Is in maybe they just realized they were one short halfway through it, or they just want the ability to potentially open up a rotate later with an impact nade. We'll see.
Grenade's gonna get chucked up and hyper. Bosco will go down. That's the smoke, and then Vertical runs in for one more. My man, though, peeking in from the stairs. This Vertical out of play, and the Astra moved, but the Castle and the smoke were the two traded off for this. What is Skies doing? What in tarnation are you doing? You're not gonna peek against an ACOG across the hallway. That does not work out. Nope. Fortunate. Obey here. Very quickly stuck with only 2 players.
Yeah, not a good start for them, but hey, it's only the first round. Mouse still have to finish the round out, but they have a minute and a half pretty much left to do it. This is looking really good for Mouse here with a nice aggressive defense. Only losing the Ash player at the beginning to take out 3 of their players is a really good way to start, but my man at least trading back onto that hyper-aggressive Hyper, who is now unfortunately deceased, but still, man,
Hyper
advantage
dead.
to Mouse.
Is Hyper dead?
Yeah. Oh, unfortunately, Benji, if you peek that but you don't react, it doesn't do you a ton of good.
Well, it's better. Didn't really have the angle would have revealed his position, because you wouldn't really be expecting a Mira.
Well, I mean, you're going to be expecting someone there most of the time, but yeah, maybe not so much the Vector, because the long range on the Vector is not great.
Well, you say that, but... Alright, Neptune's trying to open up here.
I like
Angle into the cash room.
He's doing it in the middle, too, to make sure that the bandit that's left of my man can't do as much about it.
Neptune speaking in from construction into the cash room. There's nobody contesting in the stairs. Burn the ADS. So you should be seeing equipment being lobbed in fire. Magazine here from my man. He doesn't have much left in terms of bullets, and same for health as he goes down. Beastly, one on my man, and he'll try to spot the second. They just need to guard that diffuser plant, and there you go. They'll be able to hit it. Unfortunately, the C4 did not connect in the correct angle, and Benji only has one angle to push through this, unfortunately. The wall being soft. Already have an open hole from the C4 that was chucked way too much to the side, and Beastly definitely does not want to fight against the Vector up close now. Oh, Benji with one, Benji with two, as he pulls out the shotgun. It is possible here, but Vandal should be able to peek it out. There's barely any health left. Or the Mira as Vandal gets it at the end, but Benji could have won the round if it only was not for the sliver of health left at the end. Obey Alliance definitely excelling in the one-on-one plays, if you will. It's just the players that are going off on their own. That's raw skill, but raw skill does not win it.
No.
For Obey in this room.
That was definitely a lot closer than it should have been. There was so much advantage going over to Mouse, but it just didn't seem like they knew how to kind of keep that advantage up. But a great clutch attempt by Benji there. I like how he even switched the shotgun first just to be ready to fight that close range if he got pushed very quickly, that he could win off the hip fire alone, which is what he tried for, but unfortunately just did not do enough damage at that range. Vandal again, probably going for the same 6th pick here, and he sure is. So creative of him. We will see Arsenal this time. See if they can defend that a little bit better. As while they got close, that was definitely not the best defense of Cash Room, which again, like I said, teams are struggling a bit on it. Again, I feel like that's just because teams are much better prepared to attack it rather than it necessarily being a weak bomb site. You know, once everyone decided before the season kind of started that it was going to be the new meta, everyone's like, oh, Cash is going to be it, Cash is going to be it. Well, then everyone practiced attacking it. So we'll see. Not much has changed. Yeah. When it comes to playing in church. No. Other than the blue stairs, which I think has made a big difference on trying to defend it.
So I'm all right with this sort of reinforcement. It means that you can play from behind the generator and still have a rotation position. Now this is something that has been popular in the past as well, only reinforcing one part.
I like how he's just holding it. What do I do with this thing?
What is this? This was in my back pocket. How did this even fit?
Made my pants so tight now. I'm glad I got it out.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing we're not yet hired to do voiceovers in the game, right?
What are you talking about? That was a perfect impression of an operator that doesn't yet exist. I like that, sneaking that into the cage right there.
Shh. Don't tell people
the leak.
Yet.
Well, Hyper, he started things off last round with a pretty good grenade kill. Is he going to instead go for clearing the top floor here to make sure that they take map control early, but so concerned about the cash and flake. As I said, you know, worrying about roamers, that's really more Obey's job. I don't think you're going to see a ton of like super aggressive roam play coming out. As you see all 4 people, or 5 people rather, because Adam's in the dirt tunnel, on site. So no one trying to do any crazy roaming, but look at this crouch walking through the entire top floor here. Well, they got the drone ahead of them at least. We see Neptunes and Vandal doing the good job droning for him. And then IQ, of course, catching whatever gadgets are going to be downstairs. A good clear, as long as they do this swiftly, it'll give them enough time to execute on the actual bomb site. They have the wanted to open the hatches as well, so.
Yeah, once you see that there's literally nobody here to contest you, just go. Make sure that you have all the hatches set up and completed. Like, the thing is here, the operator setups from both teams are pretty much as Season 7 as it gets. So this is something people are still familiar with. So nothing out of the ordinary, even with the changes. Breaching charges being brought in by Vertical, not the usual setup on the flashbangs. So
don't need a buck, I guess. I mean, they have the ITA on Beastly. They could be using to open up the floor, but you know what? He's like, I brought these, might as well use them. Surprising to see though, the flashbangs are so effective on Ash that you'd think Vertical would be going with those, but it does look like they have at least a plan to use those breaching charges.
Stock room, there we go. The hatch is going to get opened up. And that's your standard 3 hatches, kitchen, stock, and bar. Camera's
well.
gonna get shot down by Hyper. If you can only find the angle, it's always that one metal bar,
Yeah.
one metal rod right in your way.
Well, I think Clubhouse is one big metal bar.
God damn.
I know, right?
And I thought Millie was supposed to be a dad. I think you're.
They grow up so fast.
They grew up so fast, that's for sure.
Well, they are. I like that drone there from Neptunes. He's got a nice angle down there. They just need to make sure they have an idea on most of the operators' positions before they go on this execute vertical. Again, crouch walking into blue here. Does know someone's behind generator potentially, but grenades are going to do their work. My man, unfortunately, finishing the job. Low health now for him, though.
Yeah, Benji still has C4 in hand in the back. Vertical, of course, has gone down in that unfortunate pushes. Adam will get one, and then from the side is Hyper to get two. Skies with the C4 to connect. There's no time left on the clock, and Obey take the round off of time purely. This whole execution was so weird.
They really needed to clear the rest of the map a lot faster, and then set
There
up
was
the
nobody that
execute
could
better.
dust them the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, you have a Jackal. If you see no footprints, that ain't no footprints. And you know, for the most part, that they're not there.
Yeah, and look at let's compare and contrast.
Yeah.
We look at our first matchup of the day when we saw C9 playing against SK. SK came in and realized there is nothing here.
Yeah.
We droned everything. Let's just go for it. Stop wasting time. Make sure that we get right outside of that doorway of the site at the minute mark, so we have a lot of leeway just in case.
Well, I've said this a million times, is teams defend against themselves or attack against themselves. So in this case, they were droning so heavily because they roam so heavily. They're thinking, well, we would have roamers all over this map tucked in all the little corners. So obviously they're going to. So we're going to drone it super thoroughly and crouch walk everywhere. Well, you're not playing against yourself. You're playing against Obey, and Obey were more than happy to sit on site. Although they do have Adam on the team, he could still find that spot, right? Maybe that's what they're concerned about at this point. His spot, of course, has been removed. So unfortunate. They are going to try cash again, though. They did not win it. They lost it so they could play it again. Otherwise, had they won it, they wouldn't be able to play it again until next round. Still give it try number 2. Hopefully it can be a little more effective this time. Last time, though, was due to just a very swift attack, I would say, by Mouse, being very effective, and then a little bit of a delay before they got the plant down, but they definitely did so in fairly quick fashion.
Now I wonder here if Mouse will go for a similar attack setup that they had on that first round, or will it be a completely different one going from the bedroom mainly?
I mean, I imagine they'll probably go for something similar again until they see it not working.
And with the wall not being reinforced leading into garage, that even opens up an extra extra point of view for you to attack from as well. So there's quite a few places now. Not everybody runs the Ash on this site. You've seen a lot of Sledge being played because of the utility he brings, but also because you can test the office by just opening up hatches and opening up walls, etc., and really giving your team the opportunity to react to any potential roam. Adam somehow surviving. He's trying to pioneer a new Adam spot.
I don't think it's working. They can't
might
find it.
just be a 6 feet under in the graveyard.
Well, we'll see. Maybe they'll just bury him in the kennels. He does have a bulletproof camera, though, and we're not seeing where that's being set up necessarily, which is unfortunate, but it's got an interesting spot. Hopefully it's not the exact same spot that Cloud9 were using. Ooh, again! He's the luckiest man. Oh, until he gets shot in the feet. And still doesn't get shot in the feet.
What?
He's got to be running that that St. Patrick's Day skin on his gun right now. The bulletproof camera, I guess, doing its job right there. They're really struggling to make this. Like last time they did it so swift, but them trying to kill Adam for a minute and a half has led to nothing so far. Time alone seeming to be the biggest enemy for Mouse this round.
And the Bandits can still peek up here. My man just takes a sliver of damage, but that's not really the end of the world for him. Finally,
There we go.
there we
Luck
there you
runs
go.
out.
Adam will go down. There's still damage done to Hyper. My man just peeks in from behind, takes down vertical, and pre-fires into walkway. Not going to find anybody in there. 50 seconds left on the clock as Mouse are starting to run out of time. As you mentioned, it's a big departure. What we saw in round 1 is Hyper. Just one on Skies. That's the Jaeger eliminated yet again.
Well, things again slow down. 34 seconds left. They have to start to make a push, and they have the man advantage, but they need to start opening things up.
Oh no, the angle's not really working out to the Vector's advantage there. Gas canisters will get thrown in, and really the perfect time here at the 21-second mark. Hyper, though, will get one. The spot defeat in the back of the smoke as Benji gets one on Vandal. Flashbang thrown into Bosco's Beastly. Will only leave one alive and just off of pure fragging power. Mouse will take the round. Snatch it away from Obey.
Poor Smoke. Just trapped there.
And you can see everything, including the angle grips. And I know I talk about the angle grips a bit, but hear me out. The fact that they were able to move around on mostly 3 speeds and ADS pretty much snap ADS on the rifles and get kills off of them.
Well, they're just going to start running Finka, too.
Yeah, honestly, you've seen
Honestly.
Finka being put to some pretty interesting and eccentric use, to say the least.
Yeah. Well, speaking of interesting and eccentric, we're going to go to a bedroom, and what a surprise, the Ying to Sophia switch by Vandal. Really pioneering things 4 rounds in. We will be going to bedroom, though. So Cash has been a bust twice now. Despite that really slow push there from Mouse that time, still losing it. Adam just could not luck his way out of that round. And this means Obey go in with a bit of a deficit here. 2-1. Hyper, my goodness, doing a bit of work for his team there. 7 kills. Most on the other team 4, but hey, 2 4s on there makes it 8. So that's, they're doing pretty good as well.
You're also very good at math.
Now Bosco reinforcing the wall there. That's not usual.
Yeah. Usually you see that entire wall shot down the middle or from below.
Oh, he's going. No, he's going to open up a hole.
I really want to see what the mindset is behind this. I understand it. This is a bit of a older way of setting up in the gym.
It reminds me when you were talking to Nix earlier, and he was talking about, well, we saw they reinforced the bathroom, so we're like, gym's ours now. It just feels like that could be another opportunity where Mouse go, okay, gym's ours now.
And the mattress is there as well to block just in case.
Yeah.
You know, as they're running into the gym. Now, if you can, Marcio, can we go back to that bathroom just to see?
Well, interesting. So they've definitely got a different bathroom. So you see, they could also be setting up Adam, getting ready to impact nade the wall if he needs to. Maybe a little bit trickier though, because they're using Hibana instead of Thermite. They're going to have to try and take out those batteries, and then they could potentially Hibana the bottom part first, and that stopped the impact grenade from working, and then they wouldn't have to worry about it. So they do have a little more flexibility to stop Adam from being able to really do anything about it if they don't do it too high. Oh, a nice good spot of that U-mine. And here comes the push in from Vertical.
Neptune's droning on in, making sure everything is clear here for construction, which means that the IQ of Hyper can come in from the back. They'll spot Smoke with that Pro League skin. So Vandal will have an easy way in. Hyper continuing to drone things out. They see that reinforced wall and they're like, thunking. What do we do with that? And see, there is a half wall from the office looking into construction. So that is a possibility. The big thing though is that Skies is playing Jaeger downstairs.
Yeah,
that's a rotation into blue stairs.
That could definitely be a problem for him. If he's able to flank up into Cash behind, that's really the biggest exploit you can use. Is if you can sneak up there and get in behind them, they're definitely going to be so focused on bedroom they will not see you coming. Oh, he definitely saw that goo mine get placed. Not gonna
watch him
that.
walk into it. Oh no! Adam finds the shot, threads the needle, and Hyper will go down. First killed around the way of Obey. Adam just taking 25% damage, only a single bullet hit. Vandal has already pre-placed a Claymore just to help. Beastly, though, will get one on Skies as Benji takes down Vertical. They were expecting their own play from Skies. Unfortunately, not the frag power here from Obey on the site. Now, they know that there's a reinforced wall. They might go for the plant, but they need to set things up for Neptunes. As Vandal still has lifelines. They need to watch for 2 angles, and opening up that sidewall here That definitely could be a giveaway. Beastly taking so much damage. He sprays it into the back, gets down and taken out by Bosco. As he chucked in his smoke. They'll try to go for a plant right by the doorway. It's Adam again.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
He gets away with it twice with the exact same peak. Well, I guess that's why we see that little crawl hole.
I mean, it's a manpower problem. No one should have been in that hallway leading into the gym from the defense to pick off the planter.
Yep.
There should have been one player on the window. Unfortunately, you're 3v4, and the advantage definitely going the way of Obey.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of going the way, they're going to go back to the one other bomb site that they've won so far, Arsenal. They did win that successfully. They're going to try it a second time. Mouse might be a little better prepared for this. Vandal, you're just going to do the same thing again. Please don't. Just stick it this time, just to throw them off, right? What's the point of doing it? There we go, there we go. Beastly going to be doing the switch up this time. All right. Something new coming out. And this should be interesting, though, if that Zing's... the
Zing.
the Zofia Ying combo. The Ying is going to pay off in terms of pushing the site itself. But we'll see what kind of push they go for. That could be going for a moto push. You know, you go start popping those down. You could get your way into there. Unfortunately, they won't necessarily get you all the way into church because, of course, they can hide behind that minibar, and there's no way your flashes are going to hit them from there. But it will help for the start of a potential plant. We'll see if they can pull it off. There will be some black eyes, though, that will be helping out. They do, of course, have Hibana because it was Thermite instead that was banned, so they can open up all the hatches, start to get some angles down, and then potentially push from blue as well, which they did last time. So it should be a fairly good setup for a push, assuming they don't have to deal with any roamers, or they don't spend, I don't know, forever droning and looking for any roamers that are definitely not here. As you see, again, all 5 men on site. At this point, just drone from dirt and look for them all. You know, like, you don't really need to drone the rest of the... If you see all 5 on site, guess what? They're all 5 on site.
I guess Mouse realized what's going on here. They will go upstairs, just in case, but there's, like, literally nobody here.
Yeah, same attack strategy as last time. They're just going to go a little bit slower. Now, they have the drones going, so I don't know why it's taking them so long, but Adam is going to be playing upstairs. All right, a little bit of...
an angle from the window.
Yeah, this is... I mean, this is do or die. Either he's going to do something useful or he's going to die doing it right now.
Oh, he gets pretty close to dying. He'll run away, and that's Adam. Down and out. Hyper at half health. But you know what? That's totally worth it.
If it runs on batteries, I'll see it.
Well,
if it runs on batteries, she will see it. Yeah.
We'll see. He could... I mean, there's no way he can go for a reset. But, I mean, if he gets any lower... Better to do that with some time left for a reset. Again, the slow crouch walk around. You have enough people droning.
Actually, that's the audience. She said if it runs on batteries, I'll see it. But Goo mines definitely don't run on batteries.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I mean, when they deploy, you know, maybe there's little batteries in there.
Yeah, but that's the actual box that they're in.
You're so knowledgeable.
Of course.
I don't know anything about the science of goo mines.
Actually.
In real life.
In real life. And so.
All right.
We
Well,
seem to know about everything.
At least 5v4 advantage here for Mouse. If they can stop throwing the time advantage they have here, they could definitely make this work. But they need to start getting ready to get downstairs. No one is doing so just yet. Fortunately, it sounds like there might be an issue with
what is
the Valchem. Is it a case where... Well, I mean, maybe they just are unable to shoot it out. I'm not sure which bug they're talking about. Because they're not playing on defense, obviously, so they can't look through the cameras. There's no Dokubi as well. So
oh, okay, that's the one they're trying to shoot.
maybe it's just a tough little spot. It's got a hard candy shell. Neptune's, oh, just barely finding the feet, but can't finish the joke. Benji, though, so low on health now. They are droning to get some idea, but come on, guys, 40 seconds left. Execute needs to start happening soon here. Smokes are coming out.
There we go.
There we go. It's going to have to be a frag fest again here for Mouse. They're going to have to take advantage of all the grenades they have left here.
But there are C4s available for the defenders. Not sure if Skies is bringing one in this case. Candel's going to get thrown in the back as the diffuser will get set. And there you go. No contestant. 2 kills in for Mouse. Obey with 2 as well, but the angle held correctly here by Neptune. So he'll spot the second one as well. Coming in from construction. And all from dirt. Already beat up to Hyper. Finish it up. It's so odd now saying construction, but it means 2 different things.
Yeah. I mean, the other common convention for it I hear is connector, which is, I mean, it is a connecting room. But
Yeah,
usually
yeah,
connectors
that's
are a
very
bit
true.
Usually connectors are a little smaller rooms, but
More of
either
a
way,
hallway?
yeah, in this case. So the call out in the actual game is construction, but it does make me wonder, when you spawn in construction, does it also say construction? To be fair, though, there is a map with 2 bathrooms, which I imagine both say bathroom.
Consulate. Yeah,
Yeah,
Consulate,
so-
you have top bathroom and, you know, lobby bathroom, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think they have different callouts in game. I think they're just bathrooms. So there is that, but at least on that map, you can make sure to relieve yourself on either floor. That is the important thing in this game, as it is a very realistic simulation of life.
Yeah.
But we switch sides now, and slight advantage going over to Mouse. They do have the advantage, but now they're going on defense, and this is where it's always exciting for me, because their roam game is so crazy in terms of the way they're able to play it, especially Vertical and Vandal.
Actually,
Attackers need to locate and
more to the point, you say it's a real life simulation. If you were within this simulation, who would you be?
I would be myself casting the simulation inside the simulation.
Oh God,
It's
that's some meta stuff right there.
I'd be on all the cams. Wow, Hyper, can you carry more? 10 kills for his team.
He's got more frags than literally all of Mao's combined.
Doing some work.
Yeah, and as usual, Morxes with 0 kills.
Not surprised there.
Expected.
Yeah. Easy peasy.
5 seconds left.
Well, we'll see though. They are going to start in cash room first. Going to go with what is, as I said now, the more conventional primary bomb site. However, it is one that most teams seem to just be losing the first time around for whatever reason. When they try it a second time, it tends to work. If not usually the third time, but
I like the Blackbeard play though. From
oh yeah,
I can definitely see this holding angles fair.
my problem with that is Bosco's so good on the Blackbeard. To put him on Habana, I mean, Benji better be good.
The fact that Garage is not reinforced really makes me question the decision making.
Yeah, and they're not even sitting on the corner or anything to invite them in.
Well,
They are
at least they reinforce CCTV, right?
At least they put a shield in front of the window. Now that is a bit of a meaner window to put it on.
Yeah, especially with a reinforced wall.
Oh, they do have a buck though to open up the soft wall.
What's
Or no, it's not soft wall. You're right.
It's all
I just couldn't
reinforced.
see it from the angle. Well, then that's just not nice.
Yes.
Well,
It's all about the W, not the
there is
baseness,
at
right?
least one grenade they can use from Skies or my man, so they have enough spares. Benji, though, in the meantime, just about finding Vertical, who's just barely dodging every little tiny angle. They were gonna open up the wall thanks to the X-Kairos from Vandal.
Attackers recover the diffuser.
Beastly, though, on the roam with Hyper, of course. What a surprise. The roaming mouse. They are definitely devious little rodents, but my man is so close to finding them there. Again, just like Benji, this just seems like, as I said, cat and mouse between these two. Fortunately, Benji, the angle not working out for him, and now Vandal able to freely get on his yokai drones to start to set up.
Your ADS is going to get taken out. He'll spot the equipment in the back. Blackbeard will have a clear line of sight into the cash room. This guy's setting up his grenades. Adam will chuck in an EMP to destroy any equipment that is set in the back, including that abandoned battery. The spray in just does not connect, but that is definitely a scary sound to listen to.
Yeah, that's definitely going to give them a big warning sign. At least now they finally droned out Beastly, who's still going to stick to kind of playing a roam game because there's only 50 seconds left. All he has to do is keep them busy so they have far less manpower to attack the site, and they could potentially win this.
There's no grenades been used on the shield just yet. There's 40 seconds on the clock, and Obey, you're very much taking their time. Sure, you might have gotten some part of the map to yourself, but you haven't really taken control of the power position. So as I say that, that's the first power position in the way of Obey, but Neptunes will come in to refrag and then set himself up behind the reinforced wall. One more is my man. We'll get one on Beastly. Putting the advantage in for Obey. Unfortunately, he will go down as Hyper's waiting for him downstairs and from behind. Skies will go down. Unfortunately, not enough ammo in the mag for Hyper. Adam will take him out. 2v2 with the diffuser now down on the floor. Benji can only hope and pray. Round will end in the way of the defense for mousesports. And this is, you know what this reminds me of? Chaos Vitality.
Yeah.
Kills definitely in the way of one team, but through sheer willpower, and timing, rounds just end up being put on the board for mousesports.
You know what, though? You know when you say just stick Blackbeard on a window, they don't mean that literally, Benji. You probably could have changed positions. He was literally on that window from the moment he got there. Never once did they do anything to get that shield out of the way or push in.
I got corrected by Verstrex, actually. A loyal sub, to say the least. He's like, fun fact, the goo mines, according to the lore, do have batteries to power the cloaking device that makes them, quote-unquote, near invisible to the naked eye.
Did you think that was like just some kind of magic chameleon genetics or something
Yeah,
that was
of
in
course. What are you
Alright,
talking
that's
about?
true. I assumed the same thing, but nonetheless, thank you for that correction. That is the kind of information that is very, very vital to the strategy of this game. And we will see
Attackers need to locate
Mouse
and defuse
getting
bombs.
that much closer to potentially taking this. Like I said, last time Obey lost this map, looking like we could see a second loss for them. Hyper with 12 now, still just racking up them kills. So, if anyone's winning this match, it's definitely Hyper so far. We'll see, though, if Mouse can successfully does. Now, this is where I want to see if they go for the roam on this site. Just because it's, like I said, less common. We did at least see Adam try and roam last time, far up in cash room.
Vertical
Didn't
in
work out.
office
Yeah, maybe vertical enough.
for the vertical play.
He's definitely done it. He is on Ellis, so he's definitely going to be roaming for that vertical play.
10
as you
seconds to
mentioned.
go.
He's not the only one that can, you know,
5
play out
seconds to
dad
go.
jokes.
Thank you, Dad.
But yeah, Vandal's on the and the Echo. I want to see how this works out because the execution from Mouse when they were attacking on the site here, if Obey had an Echo, they could have slowed things down considerably because both teams have been taking quite a while to go in for their final push.
Well, we'll see if they can get this a little bit faster. Maybe don't have Benji just sitting on a window this time and they can make it work. I mean, at the end of the day, I still think Bosco is a bit of a better Blackbeard. I mean, last time he tried to put pressure on them, but he never actually got anything done other than opening up a bunch of soft wall, which didn't seem to work. Skies is a fairly good entry frag here on this IQ, but again, they need to speed things up. They've already burned 45 seconds and are still somewhat droning. But yeah, of course, you've got to be concerned with roamers when it comes to Mouse, so you got to be extra careful. But it doesn't look like they really want to be playing too far off site. Maybe just setting up to potentially rotate later. I would imagine Vertical does seem like the kind of guy to just sneak off site when he gets the chance. He is playing near the blue stairs, so assuming he doesn't get droned out, might come up for a little bit of a late flank on the bar.
And camera and utility being taken out by Obey. As I hope for them, they don't take too much time in this setup. And sometimes you kind of tunnel vision a bit too much. And this is what we're talking about, you know, when there's an IQ being played. You sometimes have the bug where you still see all the electrical equipment on the spectator screen, which is kind of a good thing. I wish that existed all the time as a toggleable button. Please.
Maybe they can just, yeah, just toggle the bug on enough.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
That's how bugs work, right?
Located by
So that
Ooh.
kill from Adam, taking down Beastly. That's a pretty big kill on the Legion here, especially since Obey are known to be an aggressive executing team. And those Go Mines are really your best bet at slowing them down. The Yokai is more towards a, you know, a targeted, it's a targeted utility on a specific operator that you need to take out. But the Go Mines will just act on everybody regardless.
Now, he's actually got to be careful with that Yokai drone, because if he puts it up on the wrong ceiling and it starts to get bucked here, he could actually lose the Goo Mine just due to Buck opening up before the Scout Keeper. Buck has rotated down, starts opening up a bit of the soft wall for them. That also can work in the favor of the Yokai in that he can see a little bit more coming into the room, but
bomb.
nonetheless, Execute's got to come down. 27 seconds left.
A flashbang from Benji as there you go, the Goo Mine will come into play and slow him down for just a bit. Vertical can definitely shred that Blackbeard, but Benji will be the one to nail the hit. He runs on in as well as Neptunes will get one on Bosco. Still Benji in blue as Vandal will try to shut this down here. Suddenly the last man alive as Benji doesn't even know that he was in there, and I guess the communication from Obey was just all over the place on that push, and geez, Sky's running around trying to find where his opponents are. I really have to question, even though Obey took the round, I have to question what kind of comms are actually happening between the players here.
Yeah, definitely not the best execute in terms of knowing where everyone's at. But hey, one guy left. was more than enough for them to stop him. And I think it just would have come down to time at best. That was the best opportunity for the defenders. So playing that aggressively on the dirt tunnel for a second push was probably not the best idea. He might have wanted to consider backing off a little bit, trying to bait him into the tunnel to play a bit better for time. But either way, it is unfortunate Vertical lost that fight against Blackbeard Benji. That definitely worked out for them. They're going to be running the same tech lineup for the most part, it looks like, except for Skies on Dokkaebi this time. And then same bomb site. I would like to see a little bit more roam this time. I'm disappointed. I was expecting that from Mouse of all people. Playing entirely down in sight did not work out for them. And I think some of that was also losing Beastly early on definitely did not help the defense of that round. As you mentioned, less Leisure Minds, less power to do anything. At least Vandal, though, staying alive on that Echo was good.
Locate and defuse as many bombs
All
as
right,
they
we'll
can.
be back on the church. See if mousesports can put it on that 5th round. If they can, then they'll at least secure themselves 1 point at the end of the day.
It is a little odd to see a situation where Mirror's not banned and now they're not using it.
Actually, yes, that is a very good point.
I mean, we talked about that before, like where teams are just going to get used to not having Mirror anymore because of bans and just not play it. And then all of a sudden the pick rate's just going to drop because of that. And I think this is the first phase of that, first wave of that we're seeing, because they've already developed all their strategies around playing without it, and now they don't need it. So, I mean, I like that coming out from Mouse, seeing a newer strategy for defense. Is if they have a Vertical going upstairs, that's what I wanted to see. I want to see Vertical. I want to see him so far off the map that it takes him a minute just to get back to the actual bomb site. We'll see if they are starting to drone at least, and Benji gonna be pushed back into the garage. Make sure no one's hanging out in there, taking the safe angles. Like the use of that shield. Still got to be worried about that catwalk though, which Adam's droning now, so it should be called clear and he could start to move in. But it is a bit of a slow push, despite that, because he's not really an entry fragger. So everyone else should be taking control of the map. He shouldn't have to be pushing it that slowly. But they will be droning it nonetheless still. And
Nobody's in pool table, nobody's around the bar. Obey are taking so much time to realize that there's nobody here.
I would almost like to see someone from Obey just start, or I mean from Mouse, just run around upstairs during the drone phase and then run back. Just like kill the drone and run back. You know that old style, like you used to see a Pulse go over in a strip club, shoot the drone and then just leave. Just to make him think he's over in strip club. That was such a thing before. Just, baiting out the extra drone time. And maybe that's what Vertical did because he's rotated back, despite the early attempts at roaming.
Skies on the IQ, of course, has his electronics detector out and just making sure he's keeping tabs and everything. You see the goo mines with their batteries in them. Make sure that they are invisible.
Keep them charged.
Practically invisible to the naked eye.
Well, and that's why they get killed by EMPs, right? Logic. Well, I remember when this used to be the normal thing is to have the buck in here, and I feel like we just don't even see this very much anymore. The buck he just opens this one spot. I remember when we saw Canadian doing that with the Jackal, where he would just go up, open that one spot, and call it a day. I'm seeing that with Buck as well. Just doesn't want to open up a lot of the kitchen floor and put himself in a position where the shots come back up at him, maybe till later in the round.
I mean, now it was Skies, perfect grenade, lobbed into Hyper, and good night.
Yeah, that's not good, as that is by far the top fragger on the team right now.
And definitely make things even more difficult for mousesports. See, my man, they had detected the yokai. Unfortunately, it ran away before they could actually get the kill on it, and now it is no longer a possibility. So, Obey with the man advantage, 25 seconds left on the clock, and we put ourselves in a similar position as before. The goo mine will give a bit of info here for Vertical as he comes in for one. Cannot deal with the Blackbeard just yet. Benji's low on health, and he's watching the angle close up here. What are you doing? Vertical will go down. Benji takes him out. Neptunes will have to fall back as he's the last alive for mousesports. And Obey looking close here for the tie 4-4. Drone taken out, but Adam is ready. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this.
A lot of looking the wrong direction. Unfortunately, that does make me think that just lack of communication or lack of intel on Mouse's side, leading to situations where they are just back-turned in way too many situations. I'm going to credit Skies, though, for that round. For that grenade kill onto Hyper, who's been the strongest player on Mouse. Getting that kill definitely opened things up for them. Despite how slow that push was, I feel like Mouse should have just played much smarter back. Just played to deny the defuse plant as long as possible because Obey had wasted so much time getting there. And just, I mean, Vertical got the free kill onto the IQ and then continued to push it onto Benji on the Blackbeard when he probably didn't need to. He probably should have had Grismont mines left at that point to be able to set up to kind of stun or at least detect when Benji was close by. That would have given him some kind of advantage in there. But unfortunately, he was getting a little predictable playing back there. But we're seeing some sixth picks now come out. Pulse, and I didn't see what the other one was. It might have been the IQ.
I mean, it makes sense now to see the sludge. The operator's been, I'll mention it for the third time tonight, but like on this site specifically, Cash, sludge is so good because you go in, take control of the office, smash your way into construction, and suddenly you already have a ton of map control, and the only thing that's between you and that plant is a couple enemies that are just sitting in the cash room itself. Now both walls will get reinforced because we saw that a mistake done yesterday, where a couple days ago actually in Valencia, where only one of those walls were reinforced. All of the walls are reinforced this time around, even the one from Garage.
Now, an important note is a 4-4 scoreline is, in the current setup, very important to be the first person to win that round, to take it to 5. The reason being, you lock up a minimum 1 point. If you are the second person, then that's a tie, right? So then all you get is 1 point. If you're the first person, you still have the option of getting a win. You still can potentially get 3 points. So you never want to be that second person to get to 5, potentially. I mean, unless you're going to lose 6-4, then obviously it's still better. But either way, so this is an important round for Mouse to try and bring it up, to slowly have the advantage and be a situation where they're not going to be completely hosed when it comes down to whatever next round ends up being, because obviously they can't just win in this round. See that Yokai getting stuck up there just in time to avoid being droned, potentially. Benji again going back to his favorite window. This time doesn't look like they have a shield in there to stop that, unless you just can't see it from the single. But a grenade will go in nonetheless. Nope, it was in there. It's just gone now.
2 drones lost.
Yeah, way to grenade your own team's drones. He's going to lose at least 10 points from doing that. Unfortunate. That is critical 10 points.
How are you supposed to get MVP at the end of the round like
You're
that?
not going to, that's for sure. But there's the deployable shield. Actually put on the other window this time on Cash Room. We're seeing a lot of shields on windows today. Some people really they're trying to get under my skin.
Well, at least the sidewall will get open here from the balcony into B. The Yokai will get detected for just a second, so Skies has an idea of where it is, but Skies will hold the angle. Now, Obey have Adam with the EMP, so you would expect Skies to be using his utility to get info on any electronics. Instead, holding an angle for a decent chunk of time.
So this is the rivalry we saw last time between my man and Beastly. Last time he was Buck, but it was all down to him trying to slowly track him in the bar and then eventually killed. I got to imagine Beastly's going to do a bit better job defending against my man this time.
Nobody from the attack has taken construction. And that's the odd thing for me, because it's such an important part of your attack. You're not going to push in from one side of the wall, and that's it.
He's looking right at
he knows it. He knows it. You're trying to bait me in. That's fine. I'm not going to fall for it. I'll fall back and just try to push onto the side. At least 30 seconds left on the clock. Flashbang is going to get thrown into the back of the cash room as the IQ will run in. Can he find the kill? Yes, he can. And the second one is on the drone. Skies will take him out. Skies sprays in for the last one. He's got ammo still left in the magazine as Skies will just keep spraying into the bandit, waiting for him to push in. Skies with a 3K. My man will get one. Last alive is Hyper. And he is on 60 health here. Goes in for the last one. Hyper gets one more on my man. Not sure what, I think my man was trying to go for a sludge kill there, but there you go. Benji, last one, will clean up Hyper. And Obey take round number 9.
Again, the important round. Now this guarantees Obey 1 point. In a situation where it's very important because the leaderboard is getting fairly close in that middle section in terms of points. So we'll see if they can close out. Obviously, it's a big difference between 1 point or 3 points. Not to mention the round differential is a minimum of 2 if you win. Because it can't be 1 or 0 unless it's a tie. So They definitely need to close out this round. Getting a little disappointed by Mouse's roams, though, and unfortunately Beastly that just could not win his fight. I would like to see a little more creative this time in terms of how they roams. Here we go, Hyper on Doc. I still feel like he was a pretty good Jaeger, though. But we'll see how he pulls this off.
Anything,
Vertical
really.
Vigil,
Hyper, you
though.
can literally give him any operator.
Yeah.
I think he'll do fine.
Vertical, I love when he's playing on Vigil, but I do worry about it when there is skies on IQ.
Well, they stick to it. Beasley switching around to the Pulse.
Yep.
All right, that's our only 6th pick this time, and we'll see the Blackbeard being played again. Not surprising at all. And mousesports will try for defense in CCTV and in Cash Room again.
Well, they have had 1 success and 1 failure in Cash.
How do they change?
Put that shield back on the window. I mean, it comes down to, for one thing, Beastly being able to do something with his roam game that's happening on bar. I'm not sure if any of that intel's actually working out for them.
I've never
or not,
seen
but
such huge disparity on the scoreboard.
yeah, he's maybe the rest. That's what they need to do different. The rest of the team needs to start killing people.
He's tied with the rest of the others, and this is round 10, and he's tied for kills with everybody else on the team. I mean, we talked about Hyper when we started. You know, this is the talent that was picked up after DreamHack Austin. We encourage literally everybody watching to go and play at these tournaments themselves, because you might just be the next Hyper.
You might, if you're hyper enough.
Yeah.
Benji doing the same thing he does every round. Just working his way up into garage. This is where Vertical needs to just, I don't know, shoot him before he can get in. He's going to drone first, of course, because he isn't going to play smarter than that. And they are opening up a little bit of an angle onto the stairs themselves here. Interesting angle to do so. My man, though, somehow has already taken a bit of damage. So slight advantage here to Mouse as they burn up 45 seconds, trying to just get set up for this garage push. They're feeling very cautious about it since Vertical is hanging out up there. Benji does take quite a bit of damage from Vertical, so doing a good job. He just needs to stay alive now, not overpush this. Oh, there we go. That's what they needed to do.
Overpush it, exactly as you just said. Obey could have come into the garage and try to contest here, but they weren't sure of the positioning of the Vigil.
Yeah, that jamming ability does help with that. He's really playing it.
Yeah, he'll try to peek in from the side, and still cannot find the angle on him. Pulse still has the potential to push in.
Oh, they're going to try and nade him now. This timing is everything.
Oh no, the Vigil will get one, but he's going to get pushed back. Adam will get the kill on Vertical. But that's 2 kills. You get the Blackbeard and you get the Buck. Yeah, that's the best Vigil.
Yeah, this is definitely looking like it could come to a tie situation here, where Mouse comes out ahead in this round and ties it up 5-5. But that is the best outcome they can hope for now that Obey got to 5 first.
Now Bosco's still joining in. Of course, he spots the legs in the back and the feet. He'll have an angle. Can vault in, right? Where's the shield set up? Is there even a shield that's been set up to deny this? I'm not sure.
Maybe they decided that wasn't worth it anymore and switched to some more
Oh,
utility.
no, there is one.
Yeah.
On the stairs. Makes sense. They got pushed from their last round as well, so
That's true.
there's at least one part that will give Neptunes a bit better angle to defend from. EMPs are going to get thrown into the site as Bosco is right outside on balcony. Sky's joining in from below. And he should be able to spot Neptune, CS, and he even survives. So the drone comes in, finally taken out. Gas canisters will get thrown into the stairs as Hyper gets one to refrag against Adam. 3v2, the advantage still for mousesports. As Hyper will jump out, he'll have the angle. No, Adam takes him out. The Yokai is still ready. He's going to try to re-maneuver it here as he'll deny the first plant C4 out, and boom! Goes the Weasel Beastly with the 2K. To clutch out the round for mousesports, who tie it up 5-5. And that's all she wrote for this matchup. That'll be the draw.
What an ending. The C4 to go out literally with a bang that round. Fantastic play by Beastly there.
Unfortunately, it's 9-9-9-9.
Are you just saying no? You speak so many languages. I don't know what you're saying to me now.
Yeah, that would explain a lot of the relationship problems. But yeah, that aside, it is a draw between Mouse and Obey.
That is what I expected, though. At
Ah.
the end of this, I expected a draw between these two, just because